Now, this is going to be a good one for a lot of rappers, like Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Clips, Tyler the Creator, and many more. Now, if you're prepared to watch how Kendrick is preparing to make music history once more in a way that has never been seen before, Grammy season is quickly approaching. Meanwhile, Cupcake Drake has demonstrated that he is completely abandoning the rap genre, but he is on the verge of pleading for Grammys in the process. As we witness the preparation of the biggest rap winners and losers for the music championship. As a result, some people are preparing to commemorate significant years with significant events and milestones. They have further degraded themselves with a few others. That's it. We have a lot to discuss today as well, so let's put those likes aside and get started. For all artists, it's one of the most important times of the year to try and compete as much as they can because, in a creative field like this, it's the closest thing we have to a championship where everyone can compete against each other and receive some sort of hardware for their actual output and hard work. This comes after a historic year that took place between 2024 and August 2025, during which time a number of significant figures made significant contributions to hip-hop, many of which were positive. These included Kendrick Lamar, Tyler the Creator, and the Clips, who entered the race like a three-headed giant. Furthermore, some of the names we're going to examine have undoubtedly been worse. All things considered, this Grammy year is among the most competitive ever, particularly for hip-hop. However, before we delve any farther into that and exactly what Kendrick, we have to look at the games that Cupcake Karen is playing. Lamar has submitted to try to enter the next Grammys, like prime Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or something, and break the record for the most in the hip-hop category ever. This 40-year-old man-baby has never been a softer and more embarrassing farce of a musician, as evidenced by his actions leading up to the 2026 Grammy Awards. First of all, it's kind of interesting since people were sending in their music and contributions for consideration at this year's Grammy Awards. As a result, OVO and the Lubri stands attempted to label Kendrick and all other artists that take pride in their work as industry plants. Despite his attempts to pretend that he was superior to the Grammys for a few years at this point, we soon learned that Drake had submitted songs to the ceremony. Additionally, with what Cupcake has disgraced his name like never before by refusing to submit any of the Iceman singles that came and went. For you, however, everything revolves around his album SSS. And as we come to terms with what he did here, things just get worse and more shameful. In addition to the Cupcake as well as the honors and classifications he is vying for, by the manner in which Drake has submitted his songs here, they are demonstrating that he is avoiding having to compete with Kendrick Lamar, promote a T, and challenge any rapper who has even the slightest sense of self-respect. He could have avoided many of the vexing discussions and arguments that people have been having for so long if he had taken this action 10 years ago. That's because Drake has abandoned rap, and he is submitting SSS for you for other genres other than hip-hop, which is the primary purpose of this project. It was, in fact, the best progressive R&B record. Even though this project has a lot of garbage singing, we need to return to the point I made when this album was first released and its classification as an R&B record. That is, in contrast to any other Drake album, such as Views or Scorpion, which had a whole section that was literally classified as an R&B project. Or any other garbage you can find in this man's discography. There isn't any more singing on this album than on any of the other albums, even though the songs were forgettable. One example of this is the song, Give Me a Hug. Drake projects. Of course, there's a lot of rapping involved as well. Since everything is going against you and there are simply better and more successful albums that you know you can't even compare to right now, you're avoiding all the rap categories. That being said, after this, the only rap Somebody Loves Me is being considered for the category of Best Melodic Rap Performance, which you even put something that close to being in. This is a complete farce. And I suppose Drake reasoned that if he had to compete against Kendrick Lamar, the only way he would do so would be if he were to be nominated for both Song of the Year. Somebody Loves Me was also nominated for Song of the Year and Album of the Year. Spoiler alert, that won't happen. Given the complete slopfest they released with it, I suppose they ought to have nominated this song for Music Video of the Year as well. However, for a brief moment, Drake's attempt to pretend that he is superior to the Grammys and above it for so long, then return to it and plead for an award or at the very least want to gain the influence and recognition that comes with being nominated, maybe an attempt to lend some measure of legitimacy or decency to Elsie's all-time run. Because you could at least put Grammy-nominated loser Drake in front of everything after all the terrible things that have transpired and all the low points in his career. That's pretty much the only thing you could gain from this. Furthermore, the fact that this man has turned into such a farce and a hypocrite is both shameful and entertaining. Even though some OVO fans are attempting to defend their favorite Cupcake by claiming that Party Next Door did this and Drake did not, it doesn't really matter because if you collaborated on an album with someone who was on your label, your artist, or your best friend, you are essentially here with them. Similar to what you agreed to and intended to do when you first released a collaborative album, which was to have someone to walk past and attempt to hide a failure with. Naturally, Drake was afraid to release a solo effort of any kind after the feud. Once more, you are just adhering to the rules that you have chosen to follow and the precedent that you established up to this point. So, please stop making excuses. But when it comes to names like Kendrick Lamar, Tyler the Creator, Pusha T, and everyone else who is once again just an MC with a modicum of self-respect, Drake has gone beyond simply demonstrating that he has never been more afraid of rappers and does not want anything to do with them. What matters most in this situation, and what will make the Grammys much more fascinating than the major players who have been successful in the rap genre are preparing to follow Drake's lead and leave the genre. It goes without saying that Kendrick Lamar is at the heart of this. In spite of what they have attempted to tell us in the past, Kendrick wants to dominate the awards in a way that we have never seen from a rapper before. This is evident in everything that he has submitted for consideration at the 2026 Grammys. From the general categories to all the rap categories, which he has demonstrated are achievable to win now as a hip-hop artist. As well as the record that has dominated the whole industry since dropping GNX to do this. Thus, the lengthy list of strong and honorable submissions that Kendrick has made for this award ceremony is as follows. First, he submitted the GNX record for consideration in the categories of Album of the Year, Best Rap Album of the Year, and Best Engineering Album. Non-classical, which I do believe he will receive personally, and he is favored to win both Album of the Year and Best Rap Album if Kendrick can accomplish this repeatedly throughout the Grammys' history. Outkast, which included Speakerboxxx and The Love Below in 2004, is the only rapper to have ever won this award. This would be quite astounding, because it would demonstrate the current influence of hip-hop. Kendrick isn't going to stop there, though. Luther's record is competing for Best Melodic Rap Performance, Song of the Year, Record of the Year, and Best Music Video. Additionally, 30 for 30 with SZA is up for Best Pop Duo and Group Performance, which is another example of reaching a wider audience, breaking into new categories, and truly taking over the award presentation. This is in addition to Kendrick's own solo work with SZA. From this vantage point, you can clearly see how Kendrick has created an environment that is conducive to growth in each and every area where the sector really operates, returning to his own nominations for the pure rapping categories. Kendrick has nominated TV Off for both Best Rap Song and Best Rap Performance. After that, he will be on the features that other artists have submitted, and if they win, he wins. The Clips Chains and Whips has been nominated for Best Rap Performance. Excellent Standing with Playboi Carti has been nominated for both Best Rap Song and Best Rap Performance. It's an underappreciated song, which is another reason I adore this selection. Carti submitted a track with Playboi for the award for Most Melodic Rap Performance. After all of this, he performed features with Carti, Clips, and SZA in addition to the GNX things. Kendrick and his work have received 13 nominations throughout this time, which naturally provides him the opportunity to win a ton of these prizes, which is simply enormous. Additionally, Kendrick will be attending the performance. He's going to win big, you know. Luther will undoubtedly win something, whether it's in the general Album of the Year or Rap Album of the Year category. TV Off most likely will too. And if TV Off doesn't, it's likely that Chains and Whips did. Speaking of the Clips, I'd say I'd love it if that song won because it would be incredible and something that would be remembered for a lifetime to see Kendrick Lamar, Pusha T, Malice, and Fel all walk away with Grammys for the song they wrote together. Apart from that, though, the other rappers dominating hip-hop this year, aside from Kendrick, are positioning themselves for a huge year and a huge Grammy. The entirety of the Let God Sort Him Out CD benefits from what they have posted. The following categories are up for consideration: Most Immersive Audio Album, Best Recording Package, Best Album Cover, Best Rap Album, Best Engineered Album, Non-Classical, and Album of the Year. And with this, I truly adore how Push and Malice are working so hard once more, not just to take home the prize, but also to demonstrate how incredible this body of its work. Observing it in all of these various aspects may provide it the opportunity to be recognized, and I have no doubt that it will receive many nominations. All of this will undoubtedly benefit them much in a way that we have never witnessed from rappers in the same manner as they have in terms of their comeback and the efforts that went into the Clips' reappearance. Additionally, I believe that the Clips will be nominated for Best Rap Album, and they will be vying for that prize, as they fall under the major categories here, such as Rap Album and Album of the Year, much like GNX. Beyond that, though, I do believe that Kendrick and Clips will create history this year by setting a record for rap and demonstrating the genre's peak quality as they just dominate the Album of the Year category selections and highlights. Additionally, with Voices of Fire and John Legend's The Birds Don't Sing up for Record of the Year, they will undoubtedly receive some significant awards for Song of the Year and Best Rap Song. which will essentially make it one of the top songs released this year. And I believe that placing them in the locations they have was a really wise decision. In addition to Chainz and Whip's nomination for Best Rap Performance, they also submitted So Be It for Best Music Video, which even goes a long way toward showcasing all of the album's tracks and highlights in these crucial categories. The clips, in my opinion, have worked really hard to showcase the unique moment they have created at this stage of their lives. And I really believe that this idea is the only one that would make any kind of sense if any record could convince GNX. And since it would be just as significant a victory for hip-hop, I couldn't be upset if it did. And that's what Kendrick Lamar himself would say. But now, in addition to Kendrick and Eclipse, Tyler the Creator is the third member of this trinity of mega artists who are truly poised to turn 2017 into one of the greatest Grammy years in hip-hop history. And given his year, he has submitted Chromacopia for Album of the Year and Best Album, and that is precisely what will occur. Rap will likely receive 3 nominations for Album of the Year, including Best Engineered Album, Non-Classical, and Rap Album. We truly do have 3 locks for Best Rap Album between this and GNX, and let God sort him out. All that's left are 2 more places for everyone to pass between. Beyond that huge album that defined his career, Chromacopia, Tyler has really emphasized his run in the best way possible by dividing the remainder of his work into numerous categories. Sticky, which is up for Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best Rap Song, is perhaps his biggest hit to date. And then, with Ring 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 competing for Best Pop Solo Performance, Tyler really just showcased how fantastic this run has been. Darling I is vying for both Best Music Video and Best Rap Performance. The Finest Rap Song is followed by Saint Chroma, and then Avoid Tapping the Glass. Sugar on My Tongue is up for Best Alternative Music Performance, and the album is up for Best Alternative Music Album. Considering that Tyler has already won 2 Grammys for Best Rap Album and has previously established himself as a favorite, I believe he will receive a lot of these nominations. And I believe that his approach to the nominations was very wise because, even if Kendrick and Clips win every major award in rap this year and possibly even beyond, he still has a chance to receive something for the Darling I music video or simply for one of the Don't Tap the Glass awards overall, which have been very wise given that he has 2. This year's albums fell into a whole separate category. Additionally, I believe it was a fantastic attempt to map out and frame what alternative music and subversions of your genre actually are as a whole. Therefore, these are the main actors who are attempting to take center stage and make headlines for hip-hop. For better or worse, with Kendrick, Tyler, Clips, and Drake's depressing attempt to enter Grammy season. Speaking of worse, some of the other major players here have chosen to submit their albums and music for consideration for whatever reason. And when I see that they have done so, I can't help but laugh at how they genuinely believe they have a chance. The first member of this group is Travis Scott, who has already lost in the Best Rap Album category with albums like Utopia and Astroworld. He is now attempting to win this thing with Jack Boys too. But when you realize that this project is up for Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Best Melodic Rap Performance, Best Rap Song, and Best Music Video, you realize that it's not just up for Best Rap Album of the Year, but Album of the Year in general. Additionally, it won't receive any of these items. And it's really great to watch Travis try so hard to do this work here after an album that came and went did not do well after the first week, which is widely regarded as his worst overall. Well, it's amusing to watch him attempt to get a Grammy for this. Most likely the reason he will never obtain one now. However, we have someone even worse than Travis Scott. Yay! Submitting Dawn 2 for the 2026 Grammys was the other thing that made me giggle. After that, he apparently set a new record for the finest rap album. In all honesty, Dondo's CD was good. When I first heard it in 2022, and it might have been something remarkable if he had completed it, but only to observe how he has destroyed everything he has ever stood for and taken his career. Nobody will ever allow Ye to return here because of that and the red carpet incident from the previous Grammys, which is unfortunate, I suppose, if you do know that he used to be a mainstay of these programs. However, now that the crash out and loser section of rappers who shouldn't be at the championship of like Drake, Travis, or the man who won Best Rap Album 3 times with his first 3 albums. There are other well-known rappers vying for nominations and hoping to use the Grammy appearance to help them return to the status they believe they deserve. Offset, who released his album Kiari, which won Best Rap Album, as well as his lead single, Bodies, which won Best Rap Song, Best Rap Performance, and Best Rap Collaboration, made sure to let everyone know that they are campaigning and trying to make a big splash this year. Additionally, I believe Offset will at least receive a nomination for Bodies with Jay because that has been Outstanding Song of the Year and a truly amazing album. And who knows? He might sneak into the 4th or 5th place for the year's Best Rap Album. However, I do believe that there are a number of initiatives that are better than that in terms of actual quality. Even though I felt it was solid, that will undoubtedly be more difficult. And to be honest, I have to give Offset a lot of credit for having a better year than most in hip-hop and trying your hardest to win a Grammy, which is again just to elevate your name and brand. That's more than 95% of the industry can say for an artist who only cares about their rap career and work in 2025. Speaking of the Bodies record that will get Jay to the Grammys, I'm sure Jitty Jit isn't stopping there either. He submitted his album God Does Like Ugly for consideration as the best rap album. Based on this, I believe this is another album that is among the best of the year, and it has a good chance of placing 4th or 5th on the show. I hope it does because it would be a great look for hip-hop and culture in general. In addition, JID was passed over in that 2023 year when the Forever Story didn't make it in, and albums like Jack Harlow's and DJ Khaled's did. They should at least compensate him, in my opinion. Playboi Carti, who entered his album I Am Music for Album of the Year, Best Rap Album, and Best Produced Album, Non-Classical, is another well-known artist who is going big at the Grammys this year, or at least plans to try. Then, inside the tracks on this record, he placed for Song of the Year and Album of the Year. I would much prefer to lie with The Weeknd. Kendrick Lamar deserves praise for both his best rap song and performance. Evil Jordan's Best Music Video and Kendrick Lamar's Backdoor are vying for Best Melodic Rap Performance. And in all honesty, even though I am a musician, music did not accomplish what a whole many Reds did. Additionally, the CD was far too lengthy and disorganized. It did have many memorable moments, and I believe hip-hop would benefit by placing it in one of those final positions. And in light of everything, here are the main contenders hoping to win big at the 2026 Rap Grammys. In addition to all of these, Chance the Rapper has submitted his album Starline for numerous prizes. However, given the popularity of that record and Chance's previous performance at the award show, which, for those unaware, completely altered the show's trajectory by winning Best Rap Album with a mixtape in a coloring book in 2017, we are unsure of which one it is. Given his background and the quality of that record, I do believe it to be among the most beautiful and powerful records I have listened to in the previous 5 or so years. Chance might return to that stage. And it would be fantastic for the genre if we could see him there, emerging alongside Kendrick Clips and Tyler the Creator. And since these are the names that are guiding us at this moment, it's clear that hip-hop is doing incredibly well when you take the time to look back at who is working on it. Might dominate the 2026 Grammy Awards in a way that has never been witnessed before. And when we take into account the full period of time that we have been in, I do believe that will be a wonderful thing to witness. As well as what it has been accumulating. What I have to say, then, now, the rap categories will demonstrate how much the genre is flourishing overall. But I believe the main plot of this show will center on how hip-hop is due to win Album of the Year at this point. Regardless of whether it's Kendrick, Tyler, or Clips who does so. If we look at the last year or so that rap has had, how great those 3 albums have been. The competition in the music industry overall. And the impact that seems to have never been greater, all of which are made possible by these amazing, well-made, lengthy bodies of work in a time when most things are just coming and going. I am rooting for them and will be overjoyed if they are able to accomplish this. In addition to all of that, we have been waiting since 2004 for another rapper to join Outkast as the only ones to achieve this feat. Yes, it does seem as though the stars are aligning. The best part of all of this, though, is that rap is set to have a historic year at the Grammys. And a number of prominent figures from the culture will be representing it collectively and demonstrating how incredible everything is. Simply considering the possibility that Kendrick, Pusha, Malice, Pharrell, Tyler, Carti, JID, Offset, Chance, and possibly Freddie Gibbs will be nominated, who knows? Other well-known figures were simply standing there, displaying their culture. Then, like the loser he is, Drake fled to the R&B categories and the furthest fringes of hip-hop during the same performance. Given the current state of affairs, it is evident why rap is beginning to gain such a significant following on its own. And that does, in my opinion, portend something wonderful. Now that we're talking about the Grammys and all, tell me what you believe deserves to be nominated and what ought to be posted. I'd really like to know what you think about everything leading up to today, including how you think Kendrick, Clips, Tyler, Drake, and everyone else will fare. Furthermore, it has felt that way for a very long time, that hip-hop is changing eternally and that the victors never get greater benefits. Nicki Minaj, Drake's good friend, is going through one of the worst collapses we have ever witnessed. Jay-Z and Beyoncé have sent her a very clear message that, although she didn't like it, they couldn't have done a better job of responding to the way she has been criticizing them. Okay, this is one that you should not miss. Thus, watch the recommended video.